And welcome back to Completely Unoriginal, your source for everything nerd here at DakotaBroadcasting.com. I'm Adam St. Paul, joined by Kurt Campbell and Tony Zur. As always, guys, what's going on?
What is up?
Oh, nothing much. Just chilling in Redfield.
Cool. How did stand-up go last time you made it up here?
It was good. I was just kind of trying out some of my old material for my upcoming brass kettle thing, and so, there was like 4 people that were actually listening to it because it's Aberdeen and stuff. Summertime, wintertime comedy in Aberdeen is good, but summertime comedy is pretty bare. But no, I did everything that I've done before. But then at the end, I read a Cannibal Corpse album like I usually do, but I did it in Forrest Gump's voice.
I saw that on your Facebook page. So
that got a lot of laughs. So
cool. So. Today we're here, we are your source, like I said, for everything nerd, talking usually movies and things like that, and I guess I'll get the conversation rolling this week, guys. I'm not super excited for this movie, but what do you guys know about Stephen King's novel / TV miniseries / remake coming up in 2017 here called It?
You want to go first, or do you want me to?
Go ahead, Kurt.
I don't know a lot. I know that Bill Skarsgård, son of Stellan Skarsgård, and his brother was also on True Blood, played one of the vamps on True Blood, is playing Pennywise. I saw that first picture that they released online. Entertainment Weekly, I guess, got the scoop. And yes, the makeup is creepy as heck. I don't know if that's just the smile on the actor's face underneath combined with it, but it definitely was like, ooh, this guy's creepy. So
it's very simple too.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah, and that's in a good way. Just the white and then red streaks and the big red nose and everything like that. So
and those ice blue eyes that the Scandinavian actor has. So definitely creepy looking, no question about it. Kind of put me in mind of almost the smile of Heath Ledger in as the Joker. So put me in mind of that. Maybe that's just me stretching, but I'm interested. I want it to be better than the miniseries because, quite frankly, that was made for network television in the early 90s.
Well, we'll talk about that here in a second. But,
so I'm excited.
I want to hear Tony's take on it.
I'm worried because, what's the actor's name? What's his name?
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, I'm worried because, so remember the Batman movie Massacre that happened?
Yes.
After that creepy dude with the orange hair was he had all these, groupies and stuff that thought he was so adorable and cute, and I'm worried that, all of a sudden there's going to be, a new generation of young women who are, completely obsessed with clowns as they were vampires with the Twilight movies.
Okay.
I'm worried about that.
I don't think that's...
There's always been, weird fangirls for killers, and same goes for fanboys for female killers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what's his name? Charles Manson got married in prison.
Yeah.
The Night Stalker got married in prison.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason, people are weird and attracted to macabre things.
And there are people who are not stable, let's be fair.
I was going to say that too, getting there too. But, I saw the picture, and that's, it's fine, whatever. I think he looks creepy. I'm not a giant Stephen King fan.
I am.
And good, another topic I have coming up here as well. But basically, what it got me thinking of was the original movie. I don't know if you have seen that, Tony. Have you seen the original It?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. See, I was thinking to myself, with the Ghostbusters movie reboot or a remake opening up this weekend, which I want to talk a little bit about as well, I thought, the Ghostbusters was quite possibly the last movie that needed to be remade. And we get it all the time, that Hollywood just remakes things because they can and they want the money for it and everything like that. I thought legitimately after seeing that picture, Stephen King's It might be one of the best movies to remake, simply because the original is a product of its time. It has not aged well at all.
No.
And quite frankly, Tim Curry, love him, I'm sure and almost not even love him or hate him, most people just love Tim Curry, which is fine. He was very goofy, very clownish in that movie. rather than like menacing or frightening or anything like that. I mean, unless you find sharp teeth scary.
I do.
But okay, so there you go. So point is, it gets me excited because I think this is the time where Hollywood can remake something, make it better. And I think they need to go off script from the novel a little bit. It's very goofy at the end with the giant spider and everything like that. Spoilers, but the original It film. But I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Kurt.
I was going to let you go first, but I agree it's prime real estate to be remade because in spite of the fact that there's some really talented people in that original, you've got
The late John Ritter.
Seth Green was a child actor who played one of the kids, and a lot of talented people in there. But you're right, it was a product of its time. It was network television in a time when network TV was so much more tame, and you could get away with so little. You compare that. Look at what they got away with on network TV with Hannibal, with the gore and the violence and everything, and the darkness. They can do so much more now that it kind of needs that edge because, quite frankly, the novel itself is dark and it's creepy. So, I think it's fertile ground for remakes.
I think it'd be cool. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures or video of Tim Curry since he had a stroke.
I have seen one.
He looks bad.
He's bound in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and I honestly think it'd be really cool if they creepily put him in there.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, it's not terrible. He's still an actor. I mean, there's actors that come back after, weird health problems and stuff all the time. And I mean, it's not like he would be coming back and being a huge part of the movie, but it would be very interesting to kind of throw an Alfred Hitchcock in there and just kind of have somebody be wheeling him in the background or something like that.
I kind of like that idea, actually.
That would be fun. Maybe having mumble something about however we all float down here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I like that idea, Tony.
Yeah, I think Tim Curry did it. I think Tim Curry did as good of a job as he could with what he had. And so I give props to him because I watched that when I was a kid and it scared the shit out of me.
Well, see, but that's my point though, is that it did scare me when I was a kid, but it doesn't scare me now. It has not. The effects are awful.
Yeah.
Like they use stop motion animation for some of the stuff, and
that
does not look good. And some of the tactics that Pennywise used to scare people aren't scary. Like the shower heads, basically just getting closer to the kid, like growing longer and stuff like that. But like I said, I think it's gonna be it's a good movie to be remade. I look forward. I am bummed that the guy that did True Detective season 1 is no longer on board.
Yeah, he would have brought a whole new level of dark.
Because True Detectives is dark and it's dark in a different way that kind of like macabre, nothing matters, and your life is pointless.
Nihilistic. Yeah,
there you go. Thank you. Nihilistic, exactly. Which could have been interesting in a horror movie. But a couple of things also sprung from this picture that I looked at, which and the It discussion. If you have to pick right now, and this goes for you too, Tony, what is the best Stephen King adapted movie off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I'd probably have to say The Shining.
Mm-hmm. See, now that is the best movie, hands down. But that, Stephen King disowned that because it was so much different from the book. And basically, besides the location and the characters, what's his name? Stanley Kubrick just did whatever he wanted to and did not give a crap what was in the rest of the book. So that one's tough for me, basically. But yes, you are right. It is The Shining when it comes to the best movie, but the best adaptation is a different question.
Okay.
Well, okay. So isn't Shawshank well as Green Mile? Aren't those adaptations?
Those are both adaptations. Yes.
Well, then there's the toss-up right there.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Both done by Frank Darabont.
Right, and who's an amazing director. Mm-hmm. And if you're going non-horror, those are definitely the best
I was thinking more horror, but yes, I actually didn't even think about those.
Because those don't really fit. They're the, fiction or dark fantasy with the Green Mile. Mm-hmm. It's more so. But for horror, gosh, that's a tough call. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many of them have been so bad.
I know. Think of Maximum Overdrive.
Oh well, King directed that. He was also
Yes.
apparently high on coke the entire time. From reports, he was completely coked out of his head.
He's admitted it.
So, yeah, that was a product of the '80s, no question. You know, I'll say what I think is the most underrated adaptation. Actually, there are two of them. One of them more than the other. The Mist, Darabont's adaptation of that short novella, is very good, I think.
I just think The Fog from Carpenter when I think of that movie.
It's similarities because there's fog in it,
Yeah.
but that's where it ends.
Well, in the Dead Zone too. I always like the Dead Zone.
That's good.
That's a good
Chris
one.
Walken's
That is
very
a
good
very
in that.
good. Yeah, that's a very good one. I like. I just had it in my head. I probably should have wrote it down because now.
What's it about? I'll tell you.
It escapes me. Let's see here. Stephen King adaptation horror. Pet Sematary.
Yeah, that was good.
That's a fun one.
It's very scary.
It's got the guy.
He's got a credit on the Lawnmower Man.
Only because he wrote the original story, he disowns it. He had his name, I think, taken off of
Is that David Lynch?
No.
The title only, credit removed following lawsuit.
Yeah, because it has absolutely nothing to do with the story. Nothing.
Here's a really shitty Stephen King adaptation was Dreamcatcher.
That should have been so much better.
Yeah, they had so many good actors in there, and it could have been so good, but it was just.
And you got Lauren, what was it, Kasdan from Empire and from Episode 7? He was like the scriptwriter, the screenwriter for that adaptation. Oh, it should have been so much better.
You never know, though. This could all change when the Dark Tower comes out.
Oh, are you kidding me? I cannot wait for that.
Kurt has been excited for this one for a long time.
They released just like a couple of shots, like last week, of Idris Elba in the Roland Gunslinger costume.
I was going to say
costume.
he's the gunslinger, right?
And he looks tough. Oh, he looks bad. B.A., friends. That looks so good.
Speaking of Idris Elba, just wondering, you guys, we haven't really said much about the new Trek movie. Are you guys excited about it?
Not at all.
I saw the more recent trailer. There's starting to be an underswell that it's not going to be the piece of trash people first thought it was going to be.
Well, that's kind of what I think it's going to be, so I'm not excited
and
for it.
honestly, I'm really sad about the death of Chekhov, the actor who played him in that horrible auto accident. He's also in, by the way, in Green Room apparently.
Yep.
A much beloved actor, and just a horrible thing that happened. So I don't know. I'm kind of sad. Yelchin. Thank you. I couldn't think of his last name, but he was so good in the other two, and yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of bummed with anything with him in it for the time being.
I did not like Into Darkness. It just wasn't good. And now the best part of those movies, J.J. Abrams, is gone. So I'm not excited for it at all.
Oh, come on. You're not excited for Justin Lin from Fast and Furious?
Yeah, man. That's exactly who you want trying to do real science fiction, even though they haven't done that in the reboots either.
No, it's been more pop culture action in a science fiction setting.
Well, this one, I mean, I'm kind of excited for this one just because of the fact that it looks like a lot of it's going to be off, like on a planet, like on a distant planet. They're probably on their 5-year mission.
One of the away missions.
Yeah, they're probably on their 5-year mission. They're probably on some derelict planet that they've never been to before. It looks like they were like forced to go down there after their ship's attacked, and a lot of the movie takes place on the planet with this indigenous people. So that's kind of cool for me because I like it when they get off the ship every once in a while.
All right, now I'm going to stick with the improvised Star Trek podcast I've been enjoying. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
It's set in the Star Trek universe, but it's different characters. Although the first one I listened to was called About a Gorn. There was a Gorn on the ship, and one of the crew members is talking to the captain and says, so you're going to wrestle it? Kirk wrestled one. But it's just improvised comedy podcast set in the Star Trek universe. It's very funny. I recommend it.
Another topic I wanted to touch on was the Ghostbusters reboot or remake is coming out this weekend, and it is you could say a remake or you could say a reboot, whatever you want, because it has no connection to the original universe whatsoever. People in New York don't know about ghosts. They don't know about the Ghostbusters. You know,
It's a reboot then.
Well, I'm just saying. So it's a brand spanking new, its own universe and everything like that.
Right.
And it's actually getting okay reviews. It's 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. And a lot of the things I've heard is that it's kind of pointless because it's not as funny as you would hope for, and it doesn't bring anything new to the Ghostbusters and everything like that. I guess I'm curious, how well do you think this movie will do financially, guys, seeing that all the hate, and not even, and all the hate that it has gotten, and some of it justified, some of it, I think it's a small, if somebody says it's misogyny, I don't buy that.
There is a small corner of the internet that does that.
Yes,
and they're very loud. That's why you notice it.
That's true, but I think the majority is that, again, it's a movie that's remaking a classic, no need to be remade, and not bringing anything new to the table. But how do we think it's going to do financially?
You first, Tony.
I honestly, it'll do well financially. I think it'll make Batman v Superman money at least. Everybody's gonna want to see it and stuff. I actually had a discussion with a movie buff that I know at work last night about this, and he asked me why I wasn't excited about it, and I was like, no offense to those women or anybody else that they could have gotten in there, any other actor that they could have gotten in there, because you take the comedy between Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson. Some of those lines, some of that dry wit, some of that humor that they had in that first one. Quiet. Do you smell something? Or one of the greatest lines, one of the funniest things that I've ever heard in any movie was in the second Ghostbusters movie where they're inspecting the baby's room, and Egon's like, my parents didn't believe in toys.
Yes.
And Ray goes, you mean you didn't even have a Slinky? We had part of a Slinky, but I straightened it. Yes, I love that line.
That's a good line.
Yep.
I just don't see the director as well as the talent that they have in the movie delivering those kinds of things to me.
No, and that's my whole point, is that it's not, comedy-wise, it's not going to be better than the original, and also it's not going to bring anything new to the table. That's why I'm not going to go see it. I don't care about it, and I just feel like with the amount of hate that the movie has gotten, I think it'll probably open at best second place, I think.
Really? You think it's going to lose to The Secret Life of Pets again? It's going to...
Certainly could.
Okay.
If it opens in first place, I guess I'll be surprised.
I think it'll do well simply because of the cast involved and the street cred that the actresses involved and Paul Feig as a director bring to it. It'll do well. And that's the only reason I'm even slightly interested in seeing it on video, because I agree it didn't need to be remade. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, why'd they... Well, okay, I mean, it's a great opportunity to see very talented people on screen. There's that much. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm like, I think I'm just going to wait for video.
Yeah.
Like when I look at the trailer and my kids are really excited about it for the fact that they have all these new ways of catching ghosts, all these new weapons and stuff like that, and it looks very, I'm really sorry to say this, but Batman and Robin-ish.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree 100%.
It looks like they're going to try to, let's see how many toys we can sell with this movie.
I agree with that 100%, Tony.
Oh, ouch. Oh.
Well, you know what? Kurt, I don't want that to be true.
Well, I'm not saying I want it to be true either. I'm just saying, ooh, ouch, I didn't think of that.
I mean, I don't want that to be true. I want this movie to be a third Ghostbusters movie, something I'd be proud to put next to the Ghostbusters on my shelf, but I just don't see it happening. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, we've talked about this before, but there's, every trailer that I see from it, there's some line about Patty being black. There's a lot of stuff with I can't remember the actress's name now.
Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig.
Leslie Jones or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a girl. I don't know if it's a black thing or if it's a girl thing or and it's a Cadillac and just all this. I don't know, man. They did it so great in the first two movies, and Ernie Hudson was in it, and he didn't even. I mean, the guy didn't even have to be black. There was no lines about him being black or any jokes about him being black. It was just a fourth Ghostbusters, and honestly,
Well, he was there to represent the audience because you had 3 scientists who were speaking above the
layman.
the language of goes over our heads, and Ernie Hudson was there to collect a paycheck. Is I'll believe whatever you want as long as there's a paycheck involved. He was supposed to be the audience member. Basically.
And he has and my favorite Ernie Hudson line in anything ever is, "That's a big Twinkie." It's my favorite.
When I was a kid and I saw Ghostbusters 2, I was a kid, so I was like 6 or 7 years old, and when in the second one, when the room starts on fire, all the photos start on fire because Vigo starts them on fire with his mind or whatever. I was terrified, oh my God, how are the Ghostbusters going to get out of there? Then all of a sudden, Winston breaks through the door and douses it all, and the music behind it, and it just he was my hero. He was the hero Ghostbuster.
Well, and that's the biggest criticism, though. Legitimate criticism again, no misogyny or anything like that, Tony. The biggest criticism is that all the comedy seems to be very lowbrow, physical, one-liner type stuff, not organic and just created through great chemistry and things to that nature, and that's why people didn't respond to the trailer for the most part. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a really big we'll see.
Oh, I'm not going to see it. But.
No, like I said, I'm waiting for video. I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't
really either.
I'm like,
it just doesn't.
It's interesting to speculate, but.
Mm-hmm. And we should know better than to give Hollywood our money just because our favorite thing is on the cover. We've been doing that for George Lucas for how many years? Well,
I can disown the movie based on what Slimer looks like alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think Slimer looks terrible. I think that the CGI is good and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like I said, and I did a tube review of the trailer and stuff like that. And like I said in that, it's the ghosts all look like they got Billy Rubin lights all over them and shit.
Yeah,
they're just glowing blue, and the ghosts from the original Ghostbusters just looked so much more organic and they used to be real, and they didn't look so cartoony.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I would say a lot more grittier kind of than the clean, slick CGI.
Or incredibly good looking, like Donna Dixon in her cameo as the ghost who has fun with Dan Aykroyd, shall we say? You know the one I'm talking. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's his wife, of course, but.
And the cool things when that girl walks through the slime and her mink coat comes alive.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I just don't see this movie delivering stuff like that to me.
That happened in the second movie. They wanted to do it in the first one, but they couldn't figure out how to do it or something.
To do the coat puppets,
exactly. Right? So, guys, that's gonna. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was going to say the Cheech Marin's his cameo, the Titanic just arrived.
Better late than never.
that was a really creepy, when you saw the Titanic and all the people walking out of it. So I was
it was very cool.
So gives you chills, man.
For sure. Well, guys, that's gonna do it for us here on Completely Unoriginal. Again, I'm Adam St. Paul, and for Tony Zur and Kurt Campbell. Until the next time.